Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the talk show and podcast where digital discussions, the worlds of TV, film, news, pop culture, everything really depending on the guest. We do talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. You recently recognized my guest from a show on the CW called Superman and Lois. Sofia Hasmik is with us. Sophia, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to chat with you because, you know, the show Superman and Lois is so unique, and people love the superhero geek comic book culture. It's such a super unique, fun spin and take that we've never seen before with Superman and Lois and their kids. Your character, I just want to say, I mean, can we say fan favorite? Is that possible? Can we say that at this point?
You'll say it. I'll just nod a little bit.
The reception for your character has been fantastic, though. What's it been like on your end with the reception?
It's been really nice. I think that Chrissy adds this levity, a little bit of lightness, this comedy aspect to it, and she complements Lois's character so perfectly. I don't know. I'm just as in love with Chrissy as everybody else is. I hope. She's just so fun. She's such a rad girl.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into it a little bit, when did you decide that storytelling and acting was something you wanted to do? Was there something that kind of led you towards that career path, Sophia?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I grew up figure skating.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of had been storytelling kind of without words into music. And I always found that the choreography aspect of it, and the presentation of it, and that kind of performing really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And then when I had to quit that, I kind of felt like there was this little void. And I took a theater class in high school, and I was like, that's it. It wasn't figure skating. It was performing. This is what I need to be doing.
It's interesting. I've heard you're not the first guest on the show that acts and did figure skating before. That's more.
That.
It's more common than you think for some reason.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think that I guess the storytelling and that performance aspect completely transcended the ice, and it's just kind of connecting with people. I think that's the thing that bridges it together. It's just connecting with an audience.
Absolutely. Now, on the top, I did mention that Superman and Lois, because we are getting to know Jordan and Jonathan Kent, and we didn't really know anything about Superman and Lois's kids. We didn't know about that. That's a whole, they put that in there. Yeah, that's a whole new discovery.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
It is amazing. But one could make an argument that your character of Chrissy is a very important character, because you're kind of what's unfolding the story episode after episode, because Lois joins the Gazette and there you are. You know what I mean? Have you ever thought about how important your character is for the storyline?
I don't know. My heart's beating really fast now. It's oh God. No, I mean, Chrissy does play an important role, I think. And I think what's really amazing, and the whole reason that Chrissy makes sense, is I think that Lois joining the Gazette and them coming to Smallville is the catalyst for her, I think, to get back in touch with her roots of investigative journalism.
Yep.
So I think it's kind of one needs the other in a way, where I think Chrissy is so important. She does run the Gazette, by herself, and she's been manning the whole ship. But I think that having Lois there with her and sort of joining forces is the real reason why Chrissy's no, I can do this. I want to be a part of it. And it's just kind of been brilliant to see all of that kind of unfold.
Now, I do have to ask, because you said you have a figure skating background, you're an actor, but do you have any family or friends that were in the journalism kind of circuit or involved with media at all? Do you know anyone? Because I'm curious to see, because that's my background, right? Media communications and everything. I mean, so many people can relate to Chrissy. Like just kind of like the struggle of kind of getting into the
Yeah.
competitiveness, getting the story out. Like you really hit it out of the park. Like so many people can relate to her. Trust me.
Oh,
That's
I love that. I
yeah.
love that. No, I don't have anybody in my family in that field. No, but I actually, it's really funny. I spoke with Alex Garfin's mother, Karen, and she's in that field. Like that's what she did. And so we kind of had this like conversation where Chrissy really resonated with her as well. So I got to kind of like pick her brain, and it's just journalism is so important. Um, and so I'm really glad to be a part of that. But no, nobody in my family. We're all very like my mom was like a systems analyst. My dad has like a trucking business. He's like a truck driver. We're it's very like far from this world. I have to say.
Well, no, I'm just curious because, like, being coming from that world, you do like a really good job. Like, a lot of people are watching that have a
Right.
like a background in journalism. Like, they call
Yeah.
them J students, right? And like J school, they call it journalism school, and like you do a very good job. So I was just curious if there was like any
Oh,
kind of
I
consulting
appreciate it.
or anything with the role.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. I really do.
No, it's
Um,
awesome. This is one of my favorite things about the show. Superman and Lois, you kind of have a little bit of a two-headed monster going on, a little bit of Hydra, because yeah, there's like the action, the explosions, and everything. It's Superman and Lois. You know what I mean? It's DC. It has that, but it also has the relationships, the tension between characters, love
yeah.
stories. Like it's got both of it. Have you ever thought about that? We got a two-headed monster going on here, Sophia.
I think about it every dang day. I think about all of the brilliant work that everybody is doing. Like I I am in awe every time I get a script. I'm like, how are they connecting and making things work and like pulling storylines and everything is just it's the precision
Mhm.
is unbelievable. And you're right, it is this two-headed monster. It's like it's these two worlds coming together. And I think that's what makes this show so special is that it's incredibly grounded in this life of, you know, one of the greatest superheroes. We got Superman, and he's dealing with the day-to-day problems and the day-to-day things that families deal with all the time. And so it's just really brilliant to be a part of it and very special to see episode after episode and how the writers have sort of weaved this story together kind of like flawlessly.
It's interesting, and it's interesting too because a non like it kind of it's not a Superman Lois question, but it relates to it because Superman Lois is kind of one of these shows in my opinion. But like you've been in movies on Netflix and you've been in like sitcoms and everything, so you've been in like the genre, like you've been in something that's like a drama, or it's been a
Mhm.
comedy, right? But I feel like there's a lot of content out there right now, Sophia, that is kind of like it's genre bending. It's kind of blurring the lines in terms of like what it actually is. And you
Yeah.
can make an argument with that with Superman and Lois because what is it? You know what I mean? Kind of like what we said with the two-headed monster. What do you think
Yeah.
specifically about this genre bending happening? Because we see it happening in music, but it's happening in TV and film as well, where there's a lot of elements in stories these days, Sophia. It's very interesting. What's your perspective on that?
I absolutely love it because I think it's a perfect depiction of life, you
Yep.
know? I think that it's if something is just one dimensional, I don't think that it serves a great I mean it serves a purpose, but it's more just like
In the background, kind of not as prominent.
every human, every person, everybody, like there's comedy and sadness, there's action and drama. Like that's just the lives that we have, you know? And I think that this genre bending is very special because it's very indicative of like human life, you
Yeah.
know? It's very special that way. So being a part of a show that is like that is amazing.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Is there because like I said, you've worked in a lot of different genres. Two-part question a little bit. One, were you hoping that was going to be the case with your career thus far, that you were able to kind of work on a lot of different projects genre-wise? And two, is there's a lot. Well, actually, no. Before I ask that question, let's take one question at a time. Were you hoping that was going to happen? Like that you were going to be able to work in different genres, Sophia?
Yeah, it's fun. Like I enjoy I enjoy acting so much, and I enjoy this craft so much that I think there's just something really special about finding this work. Being, I'm so grateful for any opportunity, and being able to portray any character to the best of my capabilities. And I think there's something really fun, and I think about that a lot, where I'm like, God, it's really amazing to have been, a part of Mad About You, a part of All the Bright Places. And I do think those were also, in their way, genre bending as well. And yeah, it's been such a wild experience. And yeah, I'm happy that I'm getting to sort of taste everything.
Absolutely. And my second question is, you talk about how much you love acting, and that's great and everything, but you're seeing in the entertainment industry that a lot of people are wearing many hats. They're experimenting a little bit. They're working kind of behind the camera as well. They're not just acting, they're writing, they're producing, they're directing. Is that something you see yourself experimenting with down the road, or are you content kind of focusing on the craft of acting for a little bit?
My focus is always on acting. I think there's always like more work you can do, like yourself, throughout the job. And you're always growing, and you're always learning, and you're always, as Lois would say, digging deep. So I feel like that work is, continuous. But yeah, I mean, I have friends who are writers. I have friends who direct, and I think what they do is so magical that I've like attempted it. And it's just such a daunting quest. But I have been very interested in directing, just because I, get to work with different directors on this show, especially. And it was like that was About You. And it's really amazing to see everybody's different approach. So I think dissecting that down the line, I think would, not only make me a better actor, but I think it would also maybe open a door somewhere further down the line for maybe possibly directing. I feel so weird saying that.
That's a great answer, because you basically said no without just saying no. Like, no, you know what I mean though? Like, you said no, like I want to continue acting. That was excellent. I'm just saying.
You're like, just say no.
No, but you left the door open. But that was fantastic, because
Robin and Weaving over here.
Now I do have to say this. I have something I do in my show sometimes, and I don't bring them out all the time, because I judge the vibe. We're having a good time and everything. Are you a fan of the dad jokes? Do you appreciate a good dad joke from time to time?
I appreciate dad jokes. I appreciate puns. My boyfriend detests that I appreciate those jokes so much, because he's like, what? I love them. They have a place in my heart.
So I happen to be a dad joke connoisseur, which means I have them rapid fire. Like, Sophia, did you hear about the kidnapping?
No.
It's okay. He woke up.
Oh.
Okay. Or Sophia, why shouldn't you trust stairs? The stairs in the background, you shouldn't trust them because they're always up to something. Okay, what did... No, I got more. We're not done. What did the female drummer name her 3 daughters? What were the names of the daughters?
Like, Snake. I don't know. I don't know the names of drummers.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3. My fourth joke I was gonna tell you was about construction, but you'll have to wait for it next time you come on the show, because I'm still working on it, unfortunately.
Oh my God, the cliffhanger, the bait. God, I love dad jokes so much, and I think the reason why I love them too is because they frustrate me, because the answers seem so obvious.
You ate a clock and it was time consuming. You went to the restaurant on the moon, great food, zero atmosphere. You worked at a shoes factory, but you quit because it was soul destroying. I got them all.
You got them all. It is so rapid fire. I have a friend who does this all the time, and it makes me so happy.
I know. Well, with that, Sophia, I just want to thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, I appreciate it so much. Like I really like anytime. This has been such a fabulous experience.
Absolutely. So the episodes that are out now of Superman and Lois can be watched on the CW, but then it will be coming back as
Coming
well.
back
May 18th. But they can watch the episodes that are out now. The first 5 episodes, they can watch them now on the CW and the CW app as well. And where can people follow you on social media to keep update with everything?
Just on Instagram. At Sofia Hasmik.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Sofia Hasmik, who plays Chrissy in Superman and Lois on the CW, and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.